Well, today's webisode is going to begin with these little books from our friends at Hunkydory. Now, there's fairy tale cottages, kittens, and musical instruments. Very different themes, but very fun to use. And there's more to go with these and some beautiful other things that are beautiful. Wait till you see them. Will you please come play with us? Well, like I said, there's more things. Now, the little books, by the way, have 144 sheets of every single one. There's 24 designs, and you get 6 of each. So that's true of those. But then they have added these cutting dies that are just gorgeous. There's the rose corner and the vintage filigree. And wait till you see what Heidi's done. And then I think this might be the first time they have put out some adorable scorbel in patterns. Now, this is called Ink Blends, and just you can get kind of a preview of the colors there. This is called French Wood, so it's floral against a wood background, just really, really pretty. And then there is Marvelous Marble, so lots of different things, and Heidi has used every single thing. So let me set these aside, and we will come in to our first project and get in closer so that you can really see that. Now, obviously, this is, so we're going to get in closer. Thank you, Steve. He's pushing it. He's pushing it. Okay. This is all obviously out of the fairy tale cottages. So, and these are little houses made out of different things. Teapots. You can see the boot that's there. And here is this one. So this is what Heidi has done. Now, she has paired this with this, which is the French wood paper. So let me show you what she did. Now, she also put some specialty papers with it. So let me bring those out too. So she took the French wood. Now, it happens to be this one, although many of them would work. And she matted this onto the Merlot suede paper. How pretty is that? Just really nice. And she placed them or glued them onto her card. And this is our regular 5 by 6.5 inch card. And so she placed them or glued them in place. And then she took the 12 oval and scallop. Now you can see that oval shape. So she ran it through the die cutting machine. And if you have a machine that will only take a 6-inch wide, what you can do is put your die cut there and then wrap the card around the platform so that it will only cut this top part, okay? If you've got the wider machine like the Gemini or the Big Shot Plus, it's going to go through perfectly this way. So that has been glued on and die cut. Then she used the same outside with the scallop and the circle, or excuse me, the oval, onto this, yes, believe it or not, this really shiny, in-your-face, heart red holographic. But look what it does when it's just in a small piece. It adds shine. It kind of doesn't even make any difference if it's hearts or not, because you really just see that reflection in the artwork, and it just is really, really pretty. So that's what she's done on the outside. Now, she wanted to add some flowers, and she chose a couple of different packages. And this, they're both from our friends at 49 Market. So this is the Blossom Blooms, and this is the Poppy color. So you can see those large ones are right there. She just used a couple of them. And then she went into the new set, and this is Passion Pink. So you can see that she's playing off the colors, obviously, of the artwork, and added some of the smaller ones, as well as the leaves and stems that are in there, and put those just around that oval opening. I glued those in place. Now, she also added, for a bit of sparkle, she added some of these. These are the pink shimmer sparkles from Hunkydory also. So add those in and just around. Now, for the inside of her card, she used that same French wood. So there's again, so she used part on the front and then another part on the inside from the same sheet. And then she took this sheet out of the little book, and it's the exact same size, no trimming down necessary because she used the large oval. And she matted it onto the holographic. There you go, you can see that. And then there are some cutouts in that, or in all of the books. And so you can see the Sent with Love. She just cut out and glued right there. Added again one little flower and more of the pink shimmer right there. And it just makes a really, really pretty card. I think that opening just does such a nice job. Okay, now this is out of the Fairy Tale Cottages. Okay, very frilly and pretty. Now we're going to take another, to have something different. And this is coming out of the next one, which is the kittens, the little book of kittens. So you can see that this is much more pastel colors, and now she's also gone into using the first of those two cutting dies. And this happens to be the vintage filigree. Now you may not have thought initially of putting kittens with this style, just a really lovely cutting die, but doesn't it work? It just does really nicely. Okay, the other thing that she paired it with is the Marvelous Marble papers. So that's interesting. So quite a juxtaposition of different things, wouldn't you say? Okay, now to begin with, she has used our pastel cardstock. Ignore the word pearlescent because it's not. It's pastel cardstock, which is why it's so got such a good price. But you can see all the colors that it has. So she took the yellow one, cut it down to be 6 inches by 12 inches, scored it in the middle, and let that become her 6 by 6 card. Okay, so that worked out nicely. Now, she also went into the items that I talked about. Now, here is the sheet that she used out of that Marvelous Marble. I do need to tell you that there's a limited quantity of this. I hadn't realized it was quite so wonderful when I placed the order, but we do have, we do have a significant amount, but just not a gigantic amount. Just want to tell you that. So what she did is she went into the pastel cardstock and did a gray with that square frame. And the frame is, by the way, it is 5.5 by 4 1/8 at the largest. So it's going to fit nicely in this 6 by 6 card. So that's there. And then she cut a piece of the Marvelous Marble to go inside. And obviously she chose the one that had yellow and greens in it. So that worked out nicely. To attach it, because that is such a delicate imagery, she did use sticky specs, and you're going to hear about that in a couple of times. So the sticky specs, as I'm sure you know, because we talk about it because it's so wonderful, is there are 4 sheets in the package, and they all have a plastic liner. Now it is attached, so all you do is just pull it back, place your die cut piece, so that paper, and then press this down and then press over it. You don't have to cram it, just press lightly. It will pick up many of those millions of dots of adhesive that are on here, and then you simply place it onto your project. What it does is it's going to attach every little bit. You're not going to have to worry about trying to fit glue into those teeny tiny areas. Okay, now the next thing that she did is she chose her cat. And this is the one that she chose. And you can see that it's going to start right here with his tail, okay? And she then just cut it and did the second, the smaller frame over it. And that frame is 4 1/4 inches square. The other one was 5.5 inches square, okay? And so she did that, attached it again with the sticky specs onto the top of this. But because you get 6 copies of this, she went back to other ones, and look what she did. She just cut them out. Now, highly recommend you use scissors that have a short blade. Now, the ones that we carry, it's labeled as 4.5 inch scissors, That's because that's the whole length of the scissors. The blade itself is about 2 inches, and that's perfect. If you have embroidery scissors, that could work too. So it allows you to get around the images just so much easier. So she did one of the whole balloons, then another one of just the white balloon, and another one of the green balloon, and foam tape them in place. She also added another butterfly, in fact 2 butterflies, and then also the kitten again. So everything is lifted. It gives that 3D appearance, which is really, really nice. Now right here, that is one of the cutouts. As I said, there are cutouts all through all 3 of these books. To my, oh wait a second, it's You've Got to Be Kidding Me. Okay, so that's that. And that just got attached, as you can see. For the inside of her card, well, she went back to the marble because she'd only used it once to die cut. Is that right? Yes, she'd only used it once. So she die cut twice more. The outside, the larger one, and then the smaller one. And again, you get multiple copies of these in that pack. And for this one, she chose another little set of kittens, these 2 little guys. And you can see that she did the similar thing where she used the sticky specs to get this down, and then she used a pastel green on the inside. Has this little one, and you can see how it is placed. So it's placed, so part of the top is cut off and part of the bottom is cut off. Then that is going to get, have the smaller frame sticky spec to it. And then we have a lovely day. So you can see that right there. Well, that was done out of the gray pastel and also out of the green pastel, so that you can see it says have a lovely day. Now, as I said, there are multiple images of every single thing. So she went into this image and cut out the hanging kitten and just foam taped that and glued it in place. Also some of the little butterflies. And then again, to my little mischief maker. So that's all taken care of. So whether it's a little kitten or a little child, this would work quite nicely. Very, very sweet. And I think it was a fun juxtaposition of those different elements. The kittens, that beautiful lacy frame, and that very fun, marvelous marble. Now we're going to go into another, and this is going to be in the other book, which is the Little Book of Musical Instruments. Now, Heidi's done some different things here, and that's what we love about her. And she has paired this with the marble also. So let me show you what she used. In the back, she used this marble. Isn't that just really fun? And so she has cut a piece of it to be on the top of her card. Just got trimmed a little bit. I'll show it to you right there. Okay. Now, she didn't glue it to her card. The measurements are down below in the gallery, as you know. But she did just get it cut to shape so that the card would become a white mat around it. So that just works nicely. Now, she created this pocket, and the pocket is going to hold this, which is almost like a big tag. And what she did is she used the Vintage Roses papers. And let me bring that in. And she did use the 12 by 12. So this is the Vintage Roses. And I thought it was a really nice pairing of this particular marble with the Vintage Roses, which is in the tans. So that works nicely. And let's see, she used, this is the sheet. Whoops. Okay. I thought I had the sheet ready for you. Here we go. Okay. Where are you, sheet? Really bad to fumble in front of all of you. Okay. Well, it's this one. You can see all of the, oh, it's the one on the front. Silly me. So you can see that, will we just kind of ignore that little error, please? Okay, so here it is. So she cut out a rectangle, then she tore the edge. You can see that. And she tore it, allowing the white to show. So as you know, when you tear something, if you tear it with it pulling up toward you, you'll see a white edge. If you go behind it, you won't see a white edge. But in this case, she wanted the white edge, no doubt because it matches the white border that she has on the card. So that worked nicely. Now, not content to leave it with just one border, she also did a vellum border. Now that vellum tears a little more evenly, so you can see. So she tore that and then glued it behind this piece and then wrapped it around that marble and then glued it to her card. So that just made a really nice combination of things that will work lovely for it. Now, these two, you might be wondering, well, that is done, oh my goodness, my poor die set has gotten messed up, but this is the 8 labels for your greetings. It will come to you looking much nicer than this. And you can see that one of them, in fact, this one, has been done out of that same marble, but the one on top has been done out of this marble. Isn't that pretty? And so that has just been simply die cut, and she has foam taped this but glued this one. And because this is a pocket, you want to make sure not to glue anything over this little opening, okay? Now, this little cutout, that is, as I said, it's in the package, and here it is, a note to say, and then we'll see what it says on the inside when we get there. A couple more details on the front. There is the piece that goes into the pocket, and as you can see, that is a full sheet that looks exactly like this. Now, what she did is she matted it on the white marble, so you can do that or use white cardstock, whatever you like. And she did add a little bit of brown ribbon to create a little hanger. That way it's easier to tuck inside, okay? Now you'll notice that on the outside of the card and on the outside of the tag, she has placed thin line Dazzles, and these come in the package, black, white, gold, and silver. And again, as I say every time I show this, it is really nice what that bit of sparkle will add, and you can really tell it here. And to duplicate that shimmer, she added the gold jewel Dazzles. Now I know this is pretty reflective. There are 540 little circles on this sheet, and they're in 3 different sizes. And you can see that she's got, in fact, you can probably see right there, there's 3 sizes right in that corner. And there you go. And around the labels, as well as kind of dancing along the this piece. Now this is going to slide into the pocket, just like so. Now let's go on the inside of her card. Okay, on the inside, she finished using the marble paper, this first one, and covered the inside. And then she went into the little book, and here is the sheet that was used as a base. Now she did mat it on the white marble, but you could use white cardstock if you wanted to. And then she created another pocket. Now, created it the same way as she did the one on the front. However, notice this one is attached on the right and the bottom. This one is attached on the left and the bottom, and it's much smaller. But the same thing, torn edge, vellum liner on it. And then look what she did. She went back into the labels for your greetings and die cut these out of the white marble and added more cutouts. And a folded ribbon was just inserted into the hole. And then she also added the jewel Dazzles. So really nice. And also the final touch was the thin line Dazzles up here and going around that little pocket. So a very different look. And I know Heidi's son is a musician, so I know that she loved doing this. Now, I do have one more card, and this is using the other cutting die. This is called the Rose Corner, and the Rose Corner has one big die that is 5.5 by 7, and a smaller one that's 3 by 3.5, and then it's got all of these other elements. And I thought this was really interesting because with this example, you can adapt this to any paper collection you have. Of course, we always hope you have it from hot off the press, but it will work just really nicely. Now, this comes from the Blue Persuasion collection. So this is the 12 by 12, And on the front, she has covered the front with this piece of paper. And as you can see, it just does a beautiful job. Now, she used the largest cutting die, and I thought it was really neat that she placed it what would be upside down, but this is the way it comes in the package, like this, and she decided to use it like that. So that's really nice. And she did some clever things here, and I really appreciate that. She cut it out of the darkest blue. Now there's several shades of blue in the Blue Persuasion cardstock. She die cut it out of the darkest one, but she wanted to kind of back part of the area with the lighter blue that's in this same collection. So what she did is she went back to our friend, the Sticky Specs, and she just placed this area and this area into the Sticky Specs, and then positioned that on top of the light blue. Then she got out her trusty scissors and just trimmed right along the edge of both of them. Then she went back to her Sticky Specs and laid the whole piece on it, so then it would get attached to the front of the card. So just really nice, that softer all over background accented with the darker solid cardstock. In fact, and then doing a bit of the light on it is really nice. Now also in the Blue Persuasion, there is a set of die cuts, and that's what she used right here. So let me get them out. The Hello Friend is right there. And then this one is this big tag. So she placed that down. In fact, she matted it onto the light blue, and she matted the Hello Friend onto light blue also. Foam taped this piece over the glued one, and then she added a white bow. Now the bow obviously comes from our white ribbon set, so that gives you a lot of options. Now, so far as some accents, well, what she used is the blue shimmer sparkles. This is also by Hunkydory, so that just matches so nicely. And then on the inside of her card, she has taken the papers that were on the Blue Persuasion that was on the front sheet. So look at that. Look how stunning that is. Just a wonderful play of lights and darks. And glued that on. And then she took another of the die cuts that is the kind of arched piece, turned it on its side, matted it on the dark blue, and placed it right there. She folded the white ribbon and placed it. And as I said, in this cutting die set, there are several additional pieces. So there is a thank you. And there are these little corner pieces that she used right there. And then also some extra little butterflies that she added in place. Now on the thank you, she decided to use the same two colors of the Blue Persuasion cardstock. So the light blue is behind the dark blue. It creates just a kind of a reverse shadow underneath it and helps it stand out just a little bit. But those two are sticky specked together. I think we're going to start using sticky specks as a verb as well as a noun. So as you can see, really gorgeous. So a wonderful, although she started with the little books of goodies, she also added both of the cutting dies and had a great time showing us the French wood, the marvelous marble, and the ink blends all together. Great job, Heidi. Okay, of course, we have a money saver for you. Where is it? It's on the right side of your screen. All of the directions are down below in the gallery. And let me know what you think. Give us some comments on the webisode. We always love to know what you think. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please head on over to paperwishes.com, because we have the money saver. We have lots of things to share with you, new products, exclusive products, and things that you will only find right here at paperwishes.com. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being the very best part of paperwishes.com.